decontamination.
Stay where you are.
All right. Hornet, look at it. I'll fucking kill you.
Serious trauma detected. Electronic lock detected.
What is up, guys? Woo here, back again with another Division 2 build video. This one, guys, I'm utilising the shock trap skill mechanic. I know I'm laughing because I just don't know why I'm laughing. This particular skill set was, again, something that I was really anticipating when it launched way back in WOOO, and I thought this is going to be fantastic, and then usually you think it's absolutely crap. It's just so situational, it's untrue. So I've been asked many times, can you do a shock trap build? Can you do something that is decent and it's, you know, it feels rewarding to use this trap and you're beneficial to your teammates, and that's what it's all about. So guys, I have come up with this contraption, yes, this fantastic build for PvE. Now guys, if you enjoy the video, thumbs doodle, yes, you know it helps, and of course, if you're not subbed to the channel, drop the woo bomb on the sub button, ding that bell to be notified when I upload my shizzle. Guys, let's woo this. But before we do that, let's just, again, turn around. Let's have a look in the range. Now, we see some, again, look at these bullet sponge pieces of yellow, whatever. Let's just throw the shock trap down and just show you something very briefly. Traps are down. What happens next is, again, there is going to be a lot of shock. And ultimately, it will buff my teammates, 40% armor, and also myself. I'm using the talent, you can see the little symbol on the screen, which is Galvanize. I feel it's a really handy talent to use on the backpack. There are a couple of ways to go with the backpack, which we'll go through once we get to it. I find this way effective for how I roll, and I'm a very team dynamic kind of guy. So this setup, I feel, is more team based and gets more value, that's for sure, in team situations. We dismantle that, there you go. And all we want to do is just pop the turret. Now let's just start popping away. And you can see that there, you see that cooldown. Cooldown has just been diminished by 6 seconds. Let's try again. And the shock trap's back. So I've just shaved off 12 seconds from the cooldown very, very quickly. And that's using the tag team talent on the chest piece. And it works a damn treat. So guys, let's take a look at the build. Okay, peeps, this is my shock trap build for PvE. Has enormous value in certain situations. I had to stop there. I had to get that couple of seconds in just to remind myself, in certain situations. Now, this is not a go-to build. This is not something you go, wow, this is fantastic, I'm going to use this every stinking time. Then no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that at all. But there are situations where there are clusters of enemies. You will just fix them in place, and in turn, in doing so, it gives the DPS's time to take him out quickly, efficiently, and not to mention, give them an additional 40% armor if they're in the radius. So guys, this is a really fun build, and again, when I create builds, I want to have fun with them. That's ultimately exactly what I want. So Nerf gun specialization, that for me, I feel is the go-to on the setup, because what you need is a little bit of survivability. Because the way I play with this, I like to get up close and personal against the NPCs, get in a really good location to just drop the shock trap. This is not a sit back snipe kind of build, or a skill build where you just sit in cover and just spam it every 20 seconds. I don't play like that. I don't like playing like that. I don't enjoy it. I like to get up close and personal. I like to be challenged. And again, by doing so, it just gives the other teammates a chance to take him down quicker. So you need a bit of survivability on this build. That's why I've opted for Technician, because I can roll with one armor attribute, which gives me, again, more chance to survive in these really delicate situations. So guys, Nerf gun helps. And again, that just grants one extra skill tier, so it puts me from 5 to 6. Also, that gives me 10% skill damage. So for my assault turret, it does a little bit of work. So guys, let's go through the gear. I'm rolling 913k armor. So yes, big tick survivability. 280k health, 6 skill tiers, 0 offensive, 1 defensive, 5 utility stats, and you see 15 yellow attributes, which is nice. It's my favourite colour on this build. So the mask is golden gear, and I'm using that again quite obviously because that grants me 10% status effects. Max armour, max skill damage, 9.2% status effects, and 11.1% skill haste, which is also handy. Now we'll look at the holster. The holster is HiddenFoxStyle, and that is 10% skill haste, 10% skill damage. I'm getting 9.4% skill damage, 11.6% skill haste. Wyvern wear. I've opted for Wyvern wear for a couple of reasons. One, skill damage is ace. Status effects, again, is only going to help with the shock trap and, of course, a little bit of skill duration as well. And that's 12% skill haste, 10% skill damage. And then we have the gloves. The gloves are HiddenFoxStyle. Again, the skill haste, skill damage, and you see this, it's max skill damage and near max status effects. And again, with this, if you're building something very similar, status effects will help your shock trap. Skill haste is not really a big thing. Don't worry about it. You know, you can get it as high as you want, that's fine. But the chest piece talent will do the work for you. Now the backpack, which is the all singing, all dancing wyvern wear. 10% status effects, 10.5% skill haste, 11.6% skill haste as a utility mod. The talent Galvanize. Not many people use this talent. Because, yeah, someone will say, because it's trash, because it's no good, because this, that, and the other. Yeah, I hear it. Many content creators will say the talent is trash. I feel that every talent has a home and a purpose. And on this build, this talent has a really strong purpose. Now again, as I've already said, a Costa's Go Bag will do a bit of work for you. And perhaps a lot of people will use that as their go-to shock trap mechanic build. And then you have Creeping Death, again, to spread the shock. That's also an idea. But again, I like Galvanize because I like buffing my teammates. That's the kind of guy I'm a giver. And I like giving people gifting armor every 10 seconds. So it works out a treat for me. And again, some people say because of the cooldown, because again, I'm looking at a 26-27 second cooldown on Shock Trap, it's not going to be active for that long. Guys, there's ways and there's means, and I'll show you very shortly. But Galvanize is a very situational talent, but has some really good value. I've used this pairing with the Riot Foam as well, and that works really nice with this setup. But I'm using the Assault Turret because I want the Shock Trap back quicker. And again, once we get there, I'll show you how. So guys, the chest piece is the third piece of Wyvern wear. Again, skill damage, status effects, skill duration, max skill haste, 8.1% skill damage, 11.3% skill haste, and the talent Tag Team. Yes, Tag Team, awesome, top tier talent. If anyone says otherwise, guys, you don't know what you're talking about. Tag Team is fantastic for skill builds. It really is. And not to mention, for any kind of hybrid build, it pays dividends to have this on your setup because you only get your skills back quicker, more efficiently, effectively to keep you in the game. So Tag Team is top tier Tag Team. So the last enemy you have damaged with a skill is marked. Dealing weapon damage to that enemy consumes the mark to reduce active cooldowns by 6 seconds. Your cooldown is 4 seconds, as demonstrated at the start of the video, just as in the range. If you deactivate your shock trap, you have about a 26 second cooldown. Use your Assault Turret. I find the Assault Turret most effective skill to use with Tag Team because you can just switch targets. Again, Striker Drone would always be a different option, but again, a good option. Now with this, yeah guys, with the Assault Turret, pop an enemy. What happens next? You shoot that enemy with your chosen primary weapon. That will shave 6 seconds off. And again, a 26 second cooldown, there's 6 seconds gone already. 4 seconds later, I've got 16 seconds remaining. What happens? Again, shoot enemy. Shoot enemy that's marked happy days. That shaves almost 6 seconds off. So you're below 10 seconds now. And again, once the next enemy is procced, which this is how this build works. Again, you are less than 6-7 seconds. Happy days, shoot the enemy, your shock trap is back. Yes, this is how effective it is. It's quickly, efficiently effective. I like the Striker Drone. It's nice. I like the Assault Turret. It's also nice. It does so much work. So personally, I prefer the Assault Turret. But this talent helps you get your skills back quicker. And the Shock Trap, which is so situational because of the cooldown, this goes hand in hand with that. Works a dream. So guys, primary weapon is the Pestilence, and the Pestilence, I like spreading love, and the Pestilence does that abundantly. It gives NPCs that nice little, again, debuff, 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds, and it stacks as well. Why wouldn't you? When I see NPCs, I just think Pestilence, roll it out, let them be debuffed. This works really nice. As you can see, it's a really nice roll. One's weapon damage is nice, damage to targets out cover is really nice, and then damage to armor is max. Plague of the Outcast hits apply a debuff, dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. Guys, there's no point me explaining how good this is. It's just such a strong talent. Really nice to have as your chosen primary. My secondary is the Everlasting Gaze, which is, again, it's rolled okay. It's a bit average at best, but it is what it is. But I'm using it because of the talent Perfect Perpetuation. So sometimes I'll switch, I'll use this. Headshots grant plus 50% status effect damage, which I won't get. In case, well, so in terms of damage, it is minuscule, so don't worry about it. But then you get the duration, so the next status effect you apply. And it's the first enemy you apply this to. So they'll be shocked for 50% longer, so that's an extra 4 or 5 seconds onto the shock for that enemy. So yeah, it does a little bit of work. You could use the Surge with Perfect Spike to grant a bit more damage to your turret, but I like this. It just, yeah, it's a bit situational, but it's a lot of fun to use. In terms of mods, they are always the same: critical hit chance, rounds, and more critical hit damage. Now guys, the sidearm is the backup boomstick. Again, I don't use any sidearms. It's not a sidearm build, so it's there. I like the look of it. I like the colours. Yes, pretty. There you go. So now guys, the skills. The first skill is the Assault Turret. It has a 12.2 second cooldown. So the skill haste is quite nice on this build already. Again, you could put more into duration if you wish. That is entirely up to you. And again, I'll look at some numbers at the end of this segment. So with this 12.2 second cooldown, 111k damage, nearly 112. The duration is forever, and the damage and the health you can see is quite nice. Mods, again, damage, skill haste, and health. Then we have the Shock Trap, the bad boy, which has a 26 second cooldown, 16 traps, 3.2 meter radius, 11.9 second duration, 40.2 second duration. That's how long the shock traps are out. And the PvP shock duration is 3.6 seconds. So guys, when shocked in PvP with no hazard protection, this is what they're going to get. Again, the 10 traps, the radius, and duration. The mods on here are duration. And again, that's the only decent one I have. And then duration again. You could change this to, again, shock radius. But as you see, it doesn't do a lot for me. It changed it up 0.1 meter, which is what it is. But I want the traps up a little bit longer, which is an extra 2.2 seconds or 2.5 seconds. So I'd rather that. It is, again, up to you guys. I went for duration. And guys, let's take a look at the stats. The stats now, again, there's no crit on the build. There's not a damage dealing build with the weapons. Again, with the Pestilence, it's all about dealing that weapon damage. And again, that applying that debuff, so that helps. So again, no crit. Don't worry about that. In terms of buffs, yeah, 15% rifle damage, 29% LMG damage, and 15% pistol damage. The talents are Galvanize and Tag Team on the build. My skill haste is a tasty 92.7%. So skill haste is in a good place. It is. But again, if you want to remove some skill haste from the build, so we'll just take this one away as an example. Let's add skill duration. What's that going to do for the skills? That's going to do nothing for the shock duration. It's just going to add the duration of the shock traps being available. But again, the cooldown is then higher. So guys, I'm happy with skill haste on this setup. I think skill haste is better. 40 second duration is nice. And again, I can get it back quite quickly and efficiently anyway. So it's not going to help the shock duration. If I add skill duration, that's just the duration of how long it's out for. So again, if you shock duration, if he's going to get an extra couple of seconds, then I'd bear that in mind. But it isn't, so don't worry about it. So this is why I go for skill haste on this setup, to get it back a little bit quicker. There you go, guys. This is the build. You can see this guy's still tagged, which is nice. Cheers, pal. This is my shock trap build for PvE. It's fun. It is funny. It's kind of situational at the same time. I mean, there's various different ways how to roll with this. You could have tamper-proof on your chest piece, again for your turret or your hive or pulse, whatever. That will also proc, galvanize, and give you an extra, again, a little bit of armor for you and your teammates. That's also handy. But again, I like the shock trap back quicker. I want it back and available ASAP. And tag team does that really, really well. Galvanize, I like buffing teammates. Procking the armor works a treat. But guys, yeah, it's a fun build. Shock trap, is it awful? It's not awful. It's just so situational and true. I get a lot of missions I played it in. I was quite fortunate to come off with some really clutch moments. And it's a fun skill. But guys, massive, if you watch this, buff the bloody thing. Make it better. Make it just ugh. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, thumbs doodle. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.